All right, so another day, more outlining. Man, I really can't see shit without my glasses. It's odd because I work out without my glasses, so you'd think I'd be okay, but no, still can't see anything. All right, so today, real quick, I want to go over the loose story events that I came up with yesterday, and I do want to take a look at some kind of Incan Wikipedia articles. See what's up. See what's up with like history, and I do want to throw a little bit more history, Incan history, into the story. So hopefully, I'll have a good basis for what to write after I take a look at some of these things. But all right, so first we start the story. Jesus experiences dream world alternate realities where he doesn't have his powers yet. Balaam believes there are lifetimes at different times in the past during their discussions on their way to work. Okay. Oh, shoot, I had another dream I wanted to potentially explore. I forget. At work in the museum, Jesus gets in trouble for correcting museum information placards with recently discovered... I'll say like after talking to Balaam, his new primary source, meets Fernando Rivera, denies the call, pulled over on the way home, thrown in jail. Fernando Rivera pays his bail. Jesus and Hugo, no, we're changing. Oh yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to do for sure today. So, in the first book, there's a character called Abilio. It's his cousin, and I kind of feel a little guilty that I'm just kind of brushing him aside. And it's like those two were getting after it. They were doing their thing. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead. I already have a sidekick written in. He already has powers. It's already been explained. So that could there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, right? Like if I already have a sidekick, yeah. Denies the call. I work in the museum. Source. So we're going to need to pull the way thrown in jail, accompany Fernand to Lima and meet with lawyer who gives him the treasure map, tells him about competition from another treasure hunter which provides initial time pressure, tells him about hidden in plain sight in Lima market, below earth catacombs, escape catacombs, rat snakes demonstration, let's say magic demonstration. All right. Chase and Chaska after seeing her take pants and shirts, getting second clue when she drops it. Off Dusty. Run in with Valentin Roca, spend the night in jail. Okay. Maybe we'll do this instead of throwing in jail, because that's a lot of jail. We can just be like Fernan pays off police officer and gives money to Beatriz. Beatriz is Jesus' mom. All right, so let's see here. Run in with Valentin Roca, so night in jail, second clue solved by Hugo by the time they so this is all going to be Abilio. We already have him. He's the cousin. So if any of you seen True Blood, to show on HBO. It's one of my all-time favorite shows, like sneaky guilty pleasure. But there's a character in True Blood named Lafayette, and so Lafayette is effectively Abilio. Let's see. So the background, why? Okay. Grandfather never figured out a way past the snakes and rats. We can say he's almost like he was scared of them and didn't want to share the loot. Kept trying to get over his fear. Trying and failing. Kept trying and failing to get over his fear. Okay, that makes sense. So it's almost like this doomed character from the rip. Okay, so then second clue solved by Billy, but then they get out. Cliffs of the Andean condors. We need to put something in here about Hugo. At work in the museum. For correcting museum information, attackers are talking to Balam, his new primary source. We can do tipped off because of Hugo's super here. No. Super hearing. Alright. Second clue solved by Bizu, but didn't get out. Cliffs and the Andean condors. Exploring ancient cliff sites, searching for indigenous relics. Panther appears, guards the chest, defeat without killing after running away, though Fernand wants to eliminate. Okay, return and chest is gone. Return after being lost. And chest is gone. Split up to find other treasure hunter. Jesus meets Chaska alone and realizes he's seen her before in his dream about the future, but he didn't realize it was the future. Recovers chest and spend the day in the city trying to figure out how come no magic appears. Spend the day. Recovers the chest and they spend the day in the city trying to figure out how come no magic appears. Oh, for Fernand, for the Incan. Abilio, it's not Hugo. Abilio. And Jesus spend the day wondering if they can trust Fernand after he wanted to kill the panther. So instead of save the cat, it's kill the cat. Travel to Cusco, hoping proximity to Ixta helps inspire magic. Just stole him while they were asleep, but Fernand kept the relics with him. Meet Valentin Roca while filing police report. Walking in the market, Jesus recognizes a symbol from the chest. Is it a chest? Is it another chest? Guard's chest, okay. Oh, that's the second clue, right. Okay. That makes sense. And followed the path until the antique shop. In business since the last emperor, Atahualpa's Antiques. Okay, so really, I told you Atahualpa. So Atahualpa is the Incan, the last Incan emperor, I guess it would be. Last Incan. So if after defeating his brother, Atahualpa became very briefly the last emperor of the Inca Empire, for the Spanish conquest ended his reign. He had one his son. So it looks like two of them died from smallpox. And then his brother defeated him to become the governor of Quito. and then Huascar, and then Atahualpa killed Huascar, and then that's who Francisco Pizarro found in 1532. Man, like literally within 20 years. Okay, Cortez. Amen. What's up, Zebra? How's everything, man? Cortez. So Hernan Cortez, when did he... So 1521, they captured Cuauhtemoc, and then 1532, they defeated Atahualpa in the Incan Empire, and then in the Maya tribes were defeated in like 1542. So yeah, within 20 years, 1521 to 1541, all the South American empires fell, which is absurd to me. But, you know, 'tis what it is. Okay, so back to the dock. Jesus recognizes symbol. Okay. Atahualpa's antiques, yeah. Local gang targets Ferdinand because of his obvious wealth, because of random old artifact, but because his relics in his pockets, sparks fly from between object relics. Relics have been charged. Jesus loses his power around charged relics. Okay, antique dealers Incan word. Local gangs bowed down. Chaska appears from following them, demanding the relics. Hello, cousin. Council argument about who deserves relics. Revelation about grandfather being related to Pizarro. Chaska, half indigenous, is fierce and storms out. Half indigenous on the side, not related to Ferdinand. Chaska was by Valentin Roca. Uncomfortable with the transfer of power. Jesus goes to prison and decides to break her out. Antique dealer arrives, hands over the last piece of the prophecy from Atahualpa, putting the relics on. Okay. Escape from prison. Oh yeah, and this is like the final battle. Travel to Machu Picchu. Please take away Chaska. Touching the might make him lose power forever, according to Balaam. Jesus grabs the relics, loses connection with Shadow Warrior, like losing a limb. Realizes he can sense Chaska, teleports her out of police car, and just shoves the relics in her hand. Incan puts knots in before collapsing. Incan puts knots on the raised platform at midnight on the 6th day of summer solstice. Contact creates vortex, explodes, and then explodes, releasing magic back in the world. Incan descendant wants to go after American, but Jesus stops her, saying how the American ally doesn't have magic, no reason to continue his punishment. He's just back in Mexico. So this is the moral choice right here. The moral decision, I should say. Alright, let me actually get my book and then we can keep going. So now that I kind of... you know what, I'm going to go through all this again. Just to be double check. So out of these, psychological self-revelation, learns to trust his instincts. Yeah. We need to add in when he finds out about the setup in Merida. So Ferdinand tells Jesus about setting up police, let's say arrest, in Merida. Oh yeah, and that's why Jesus goes to prison. Perfect. Most of us, he made guide for other people and cultures. He can be a guide for other people and cultures, helping them bring back their magic. Oh yeah, man. Zebra, just us knocking out our words. Our words for the day. Let me go ahead and set up my trusty rusty anatomy of story. Is it focusing? There it goes. All right. Quick check for all this. Jesus learns to trust his instincts. He learns about himself. Moral self-revelation. I'd like to see the moral self-revelation be a little bit more dependent on being a king. Moral self-revelation. He can be a guide for other people and cultures, helping them bring back their magic. How to treat other people. So we have, let me go back to this 7 key steps of story structure. What does he learn? He learns to trust his instincts. Yeah, definitely. But how can he? What can he learn about other people? How to treat others? He can be. He must be. He must be a guide for other people and cultures, helping them bring back them. That's fine. Doesn't yes, uncomfortable being leader having people listen to his advice. Another culture might have powers like the Maya. Hayes wants to help. His desire. What does he want? So he should have cleared his desire by the time the book ends. So at the very end, I think that the desire, he's alone. Moral self-revelation, he must be a guide. Alone. He's alone. I think that's a big one. Desire. Jesus wants someone else who can relate. No. That feels like a moral thing. Another culture might have magical powers like the Maya. Alone. Let me write this down before I forget, because Jesus wants someone else to talk to about the weight of the responsibilities that come with bringing back magic to his people. Thinks he's found a mentor in the antiques dealer, but they are killed. Now, by the end of the book, he at least has another equal. Moral weakness and moral self-revelation. Psychological. Okay. Desire. What does he want? In the beginning. So what is like even like a... So in The Godfather, what's his face? Michael Corleone's desire is he wants to take revenge on the men who shot his father and thereby protect his family. So, I mean, Jesus wants to pay back the debt he owes Fernand. Yeah, and so then at the end, him saying that he wants to go after Fernand. So him not letting Chaska wants to go after Fernand, but Jesus stops saying how the American artist and I imagine reason continues punishment. That is him paying back Fernand for saving him from the police. Yeah, that makes sense. Simple. Opponent at first it's Chaska. Then in reality, it's Fernand. Ally, fake ally, enemy. Plan, go to Peru, find the relics, investigate magical claims, explain dreams. Alright, battle. Break Peruvian, break Chaska out from prison. Right, we gotta learn this guy. And we gotta learn Fernand. And why don't you know a place? That's weird. You should have all geography in your library. Break Chaska out from prison. Travel to Machu Picchu for a showdown. Nuclear income magic is back. Green. Jesus is back in Merida, Mexico. What the heck? Alright. Jesus Chan, Archetype Prince, Chaska Mamani. Okay, so we actually already have this. Let me go ahead back and open up my other outline. Because this is not Hugo, this is Abilio. I think he's a trickster, if I'm not mistaken. Rebel. Fake ally opponent. Yep. Fernand Rivera. Valentin Roca. Abilio. Increased comfort with telling Abilio. Let's just say commanding. Central moral problem. What role do ancient traditions play in an increasingly modernized technological world? Is that the best moral problem? How to deal with others? What role do ancient traditions? So the central moral problem for something like a Black Panther is like, what responsibility does Wakanda have to helping Black people in the wider world? So this could almost be like, if we're going off of Black Panther, what responsibility does Jesus have for aiding other indigenous societies throughout the world? So Black Panther, what role does Wakanda have in fighting for equality in the wider world? Come on. There we go. You know, it's not the same as it was. Whoops. All right. Well, it's good. Black Panther's solid. Black Panther, Shang-Chi is another one of my favorites. And then the new show, Moon Knight. Ooh, that Moon Knight's good. I can't wait for the next episode. The first episode just came out last week. Jesus Chan. Weakness, trouble with leading, confidence, not even trusting, alone, lonely. Psychological needs to learn to trust his instincts. Oh, one thing I meant to do. Oh yeah, let me make a note. All right, psychological needs to learn to trust his instincts. One needs to learn how to be a leader. And be comfortable with people listening to his opinions, advice. I don't know if that one's sitting as well. Psychological need. What does he need to learn about himself? Yeah, I need to learn such things because he didn't like Fernanda Vera at first. Let's see, psychological. Oh no, we're down past that. Weakness, psychological need to learn to trust his instincts. Okay. How does he need to learn how to treat other people? Needs to learn that he's a member. You know what? Let me keep that just in case I want to reference it. Needs to learn that he's a member of, that he's part of a community with other indigenous So at the end of the book, for how he deals with other people, he needs to understand that he's part of a community with other indigenous cultures. All one people. They're not all one people, though. They have different magic. They face the same struggles. And that's good. Desire. His desire for the book. He does not want to help our marginalized indigenous communities. That's what he has to learn. He wants to, again, let me keep that just in case I want to reference. Wants to pay back debt to Fernan by helping him recover Incan relics. Okay. Jesus values family, honesty, heritage. Yeah. Can teleport. Let's ask him. All right, this one's looking okay. Book smart, resourceful. Can communicate with animals. Variation of the nature speed front center okay. Abilio. So we need to redo this. So I already have these. Might as well just use the same. So impulsive, short-sighted, intense, dogmatic, confrontational. Yeah, let's just redo this. But we can keep that on the variation. He believes ancient traditions to be kept separate from day-to-day existence and / away from those without access. That makes sense. His psychological needs to learn, needs to overcome fierce independence and rely on others. Moral needs to stop drawing lines in the sand that creates enemies. So up here we have to add in, because he's going to do something by himself. Higher up, he's going to solve a clue. So earlier we need to be like, say something about argue with Abilio about going alone. About doing things alone. At some point, where could we, Balam. Let's see, when could he say something? Yeah, I need to add in this. All right, Abilio Desire. No, what does Abilio want? Abilio is to Oops, that's not what I wanted. Wants to experience the broader world. Values. Friendship. Family. Strength. Individuality. Confidence. Power, status, and ability. He's a healer. Low status. Hey, awesome crafter. How's it going, man? Or gal. I meant man, like just generally speaking. Let's see. Healer. So Abilio is the cousin, and he is a healer. What does he want? He wants to experience a broader world. I'm good. Just working on the outline for the sequel to my Indigenous Magic series. So book 1 comes out in June 1. And then I'm heading to Machu Picchu for for a research trip, and then this is going to be about the Incans, and then we'll have some history sprinkled in, and then there's Incan magic. Just gonna see if I could. I got actually got the draft of the book covers today for book 1, the one's coming out in June, and I'll be showing those off soon, so you can keep an eye out for those. They have like a pulpy not Pulp Fiction, but like a pulp YA feel. But I'm excited. I'm excited to have it finally out. I wrote it a couple months ago. Went to Chichen Itza for the first one, and now I'm writing the second. Working on the second. All right, Ferdinand Rivera. Let's see, make sure these. Using the heritage is something to exploited. Must learn how to stop using people as pawns in pursuit of power. Desire. Ferdinand wants to control ancient Incan relics, believing he can become a god among men. Power status and ability. No magical power has money. Speaks English. London Spanish. Passing. Okay. Valentin Roca. Needs to trust his instincts. See, I'd say he must think for himself. Needs to think for himself. What's its theme in my book? It's a medieval fantasy-like world similar to D&D. Oh, so this is, it's it's like a modern day, kind of guy, you know, early 20s, works at a museum, not really sure what he's doing, and then he gets swept up in a, more or less like a National Treasure type heist where he has to go to the cities. So there's 4 Mayan codices in the world. Like currently, today, right now, there's only 4 examples of Mayan writing, and so he has to gather them all from all corners of the world. And when he brings them back to the Yucatan Peninsula, they release indigenous magic for all Maya. And so now we're gonna have something similar with Incan relics. Oh, medieval fantasy like world. That's what's up. Similar to D&D. Oh man, I recently read the first Duerden series book by R.A. Salvatore. It was amazing. I couldn't put it down. Finished it in like a couple days. But not that D&D, just like a good, that kind of feel. Oh yeah, true. Awesome crafter. Do you outline as well, or are you an outliner or a pantser? Has to understand that people have worth despite their different opinion, life trajectories. Yep. Use the thing. I'll go ahead and italicize this. Panther. Zebra, what's a panther? Dude, awesome crafter. My first book, no, in my first and second book, I went winged it, wung it. I don't know how the past tense is, but I just pantsed it, and then the third book I had to break down. The third book I ended up cutting from 110,000 words down to 65,000 words after I finished with the outline. So I wrote the whole thing first, then outlined it, and then kind of put it back together. That was one of the most interesting experiences. That was a lot. I mean, only 6,000 is a lot, man. That's what's up. Keep chugging along, a little bit at a time. Do you have a awesome? Do you have a word count that you're shooting for? Keep the streets clean. Weaknesses. Jesus character change. Okay. Weaknesses: trouble with confidence, leading people. Yep. Because not even trusting because doesn't have a lot of experience. And there's one thing: alone, feels isolated because. Whoops! Don't want to do that. Because he has no one else to talk to, no human to talk to about the pressure. And so even in the first one, we can say that we can tease all this. In the very first scene, we can tease that he's alone and feeling the pressure, because we can just say it in the first scene. Blames dreams on increased pressure. Yes, 10,000 before summer. Oh, heck yeah, man. That's legit. Zebra, I know you're writing like most days of the week. How many days a week? How many days a week do you guys write? Zebra and Awesome. And anyone else. I mean, hop in. How many days a week do you guys write and when you're trying to crank out some words? Man, this formatting is going to be the death of me. Look at this. Why are some of them 12 and some of them 13? I will never, ever understand this. That's good, dude. That's good that you did that. My first editor, he got on me because well, he's my editor, right? I don't know why I say first editor. He's my editor. He was like, you need to give your character something, so like a thing, and so that's awesome that you did that. Awesome. That's really helpful. Page 3 at 1128. 3 chapters by summer. Well, that's good, man. Summer, if we define it by the summer solstice, we'll be looking at what, June 20th ish? I think you got this. You got this. So this for this book that I'm writing now, the main character, he's his magic power is that he can teleport objects. So I think in the D&D world there is I'm not familiar with D&D, so excuse me if I'm incorrect about some of the facts, but I'm pretty sure that there's a power where it's like you can only teleport objects but not living things. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration from. At one point, they must cross a big wall, so he just kicked it. Then another character built a makeshift home and kicked it as well. And at another point, he just kicks a tree. Yeah, and then that could be his kind of, like, and that's good because that can be his kind of his thing when he's like frustrated, upset. If he's feeling a certain way, excited even, he can just kick. Zebra, I feel that, dude. Like once I get going, like the first couple scenes are like almost like exploring, and again, it's not like I'm writing and then backtracking, but if I can get the first ones kind of chugging along really well, dude, from there it's just like this, and like from then on you just it's like a sprint to the finish. But that's why I outline so kind of thoroughly, because I just want, once I get going, I want to just be able to I don't want to have to think about, oh shoot, what is, like, am I going to hit, am I going to hit my points? Is there going to be the rising tension? Is there going to be a point where all is lost? So that obsessive, is he going to have this obsessive drive where he must win at all costs? So it's like, if I have all those written down in the outline, then I think it's much easier to just kind of spin up real fast. Oh yeah, man, awesome. I stayed away from magic forever, even though like I love fantasy. I was all sci-fi and like magical realism, which I guess is magic-ish, but this is like a full-blown magic system. Do I know what a kobold is? I do not. Let me look it up real quick. Kobold. A kobold is a sprite, having spread into Europe with various spellings, including goblin and hobgoblin, and later taking root and stemming from Germanic mythology. They survived into modern times in German folklore. Okay. Mythological creature. Awesome. Is that what you're afraid of? Kobolds? The most common depictions of kobolds show them as human-like figures the size of small children. Kobolds who live in human homes wear the clothing of peasants. Those who live in mines are hunched and ugly, and some can materialize into a brick. Kobolds who live on ships smoke pipes and wear sailor clothing. Oh, mini humanoid dragons. Okay. In your book, they're the main enemy. Oh, okay. So they're like are there a bunch of them where they're like attacking almost like you attack the where you have to attack the Incredible Hulk, or is it like one super powerful kobold? All right, and then learns to trust his instincts. Yep, I got that. And needs to embrace helping other indigenous societies. You know, it's not the same as it was. I have that Harry Styles song stuck in my head for days now. All right. That's the moral need. Moral self-revelation. We have, oh yeah. So his moral self-revelation is that he can be a guide for other people and other indigenous people and cultures. He must. Not even can be. I want it to be he must be. This shit's important. Yes, they are an army, but not very social. They still use slavery and are divided into tribes depending on their scale color. They follow an ancient Egypt system of the upper class to lower class. Ooh, you got a lot of information to work with, buddy. Like, that's good. I could even see, you know, it's like you have your book you're writing now, and if you wanted to ever have like an additional or like a companion story, you could even have a book about the kobolds and almost like their society, something like that. Do you guys have any books that you like look to, or books or movies even, or TV shows, I guess too? Any stories that you guys look to that you are inspired by, that you kind of are taking inspiration from when you're making your newest kind of works? So for example, I'm big on like I love the Marvel movies and TV shows, all MCU. And so I really like almost like watching those movies and looking at some of those character developments and battles and things like that to kind of get some ideas about what I can do with my books. Psychological and moral weakness and need. Yep, okay. Change the Jesus, not caring anything about his own experience, people, city. Understanding the wider world and indigenous culture needs help too. Correct. Jesus wants to help other marginalized indigenous. Jesus wants to pay Fernan back. Page 4. Heck yeah. Jesus wants to pay Ferdinand back for keeping him out of jail. So one thing I want to add in here. Echoes of Beatrice. the highest class of the dragon because in my universe, kobolds look up to them because only winged kobolds can fly. Entire tribes revolve on the Visma defending the dragon leader. Ooh, I like that. It's like almost like a hive mentality. Okay. Is it like similar to our world in terms of like physics and governments and countries, or is it like a whole new world? So for example, mine is like the book one is in Mexico, Merida, Mexico. We could go visit there, you know, get a flight, go to Mexico. Um, and then this one's in Peru. I'm actually gonna go visit Peru. So do you guys have your books in places that we could actually visit, or is it just a brand new world? Honor and fear of problems. Amen. A whole new world. I can dig it. I like that. I'm a big Aladdin man myself. The only brown character, one of the few brown characters I saw as a kid. So you know I was a fan of him. Opponent's values, cleverness, manipulation, power. Okay. Both trying to carve out their place in the world. Both aim at approximately the same. Both deal with being an other in their hometowns. Both alone and struggling with the weight of responsibility. Moral problem and justification. Jesus Chan believes in preserving ancient traditions without flaunting them to the wider world. Justifies his belief because Maya are traditionally looked down upon in Merida. Chaska Mamani believes ancient traditions should be front and center of our home's culture, not just for commercial benefit. Justified by the fact that Machu Picchu is the main tourist attraction, but indigenous culture still looked down upon. Ferdinand Rivera believes that ancient traditions are there to serve him for profit and personal gain. He doesn't want any other marginalized indigenous taking any of the magic he believes should be his alone. Justifies this by saying that indigenous Incan already had magic, but lost the Spanish, so what good did it do? You know what we could do is we can actually add in even bigger, an even bigger sense. But my system, there are only towns for beings who speak common, aka, and language we actually speak as humans. Yeah. That's pretty. I think that's like a standard thing when you, especially when you get to like having whole other societies, whole other kind of communities, languages, species. Um, it's kind of like you must need to figure out a way to make it so that way the reader can even understand them, right? It's just it gets to be really interesting because then you could have like, is it someone that's translated? Do you have a character that we're in their head and they we're writing in English or you know whatever language, and then they can't understand each other, something like that. No, in this one, I had to. So, the first one's about the first Indigenous Magics book is about Mayan, and so they all speak Spanish. So I had to almost pretend like that we can all understand Spanish, and then like the main character, whenever he hears other languages like German or English, he's confused, even though it's written in English, right? there's it's almost like the we're reading it, but the language that they're speaking is Spanish. Is there a main object in your story? For example, in Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone. In my book, it's a purple apple. No one besides the kobold knows what it does. Oh, so yes. So, in the first book, it's the Mayan codices. They're called codices, but really it's like Mayan texts, Mayan books. And so, like I said, there's only four that still exist in the world because a priest burned them all in 1562, and like a big bonfire. I actually wrote a book about that too. But so there's only four, and so that was Indigenous Magic Book One, and then this one I'm going to. So the Incans had a, let me see if I can pull it up. The Incans had a recording device made from strings. So let's see here. Got the follow. Welcome to the club, buddy. All right, so if you see here the Kipu, um, let's see if I can pull it up. And so apparently these strings with the knots all like this is how they communicated, and I have to do a little bit more research, but this is going to be the main relic. And so I think I really want to have this kind of like Indiana Jones archaeology relic kind of vibe with magic. So that's kind of that's what I'm going for. And so in theory, each successive, I want this to be like almost like in like Harry Potter is magic in a like English countryside prep school. This is almost like magic in a um indigenous cultures with but like modern day indigenous cultures with um ancient relics, like things that are from 500 years ago. Who do you use for editing service? So I have two. I have a freelance editor, my copy editor. She's in New York, and then I have a developmental editor, and he's part of a group called the Writers Ally. Here, I'll write it real quick. I'm not sure of their website, so maybe try writersally.com, something like that. But that's who that was my developmental editor, and so we still talk a lot. I don't use him as much because I just crank out books, and so if I have one I'm really trying to hammer home, I'll hit him up. But for the most part, it's just copy editing, and then but I actually still see him because we are on a panel at the DC Comic Con, so the DC Comic Book Convention called Awesome Con. We have a panel about writing, publishing, editing. Every year we talk to, and then people come in and they ask questions, and there's a couple authors, and then we'll all help answer and pretty much help them with their books. So in my book, there is an elf cleric magic healer who is 789. Oh wow! It reminds me of in Redwall, there was the mouse named Methuselah. It was like, I loved Redwall, but I think he was a mouse or a weasel. No, it wasn't a weasel. A rat? I forget. But anyways, Methuselah. That's cool though. It's like almost like a Merlin or Gandalf type character. Sounds like. And awesome. Is he the only one that can use magic? You said there was one person that uses magic. Nice. That's what's up. Yeah, so in my universe, There's there's like main people who bring back the magic, and they're like the super powerful, and then all of the indigenous people get magic once once it gets brought back. All of the indigenous people that have blood get magic. All right, believe. All right, so let's go on to the next step in the book. So awesome! I think you might have joined after I showed this off. So this is what I use to outline. It's called The Anatomy of Story, and so this is pretty much a screenwriting book. And I do this because, in theory, I'd like to make any of these stories. If anyone hit me up and was like, "Hey, we like this book, we want to make it a movie. Hey, we like this book, we want to make it a video game." Well, I have the beats written out in such a way that I can pretty much, I'm just choosing to create a novel about it, but I could create a screenplay, I could create a video game if that's what I chose to do. So far, the main character, his best bud, and the old man are trapped out of their village trying to find a way in back because there's a 71-foot wall made of a black stone-like material. Okay, and so do they have to? Did someone erect the wall, or is it like a natural thing and it was a mistake that, or like not natural, but it's a thing that already existed and that it was a mistake that they got trapped outside out of it? All right, designing principle. It already existed. Okay, so it's like a mistake that somehow, like they went fishing or something, and then it's shut, and then they have to get back in. That's cool. The kobolds kidnapped them and locked them out of their village. Oh, okay. That's where the kobolds come in. How did you hear about kobolds in the first place? Is that something you were, like, was it in another story or something? Because I'd never even heard that term. Oh, dude, that's actually a really good idea. I'm actually gonna make a note to look into that, because that might be helpful for me to come up with new new monsters for my books. So the designing principle of this book: a young indigenous magician learns how to become a king by helping another nation recover their magical abilities, after they were lost during the Spanish conquest. Okay. The theme line. When you are blessed with a good heart and great talent, you must become a leader and fight for others. Plus, I own another book called Volos, Guide to Monsters, which goes more in depth into kobold lore. Oh, okay. Nice, man. So it sounds like you did your research. Zebra, do you have a lot of research material, or do you kind of already know everything you want to do, and then you just have to kind of get the words out? moral choice. Moral choice. The moral choice, right on the key choice the hero must make near the end of the story. The preserve. Jesus must decide between preserving his own powers or helping bring back the Incan magic. Moral problem. After you understand when the syndrome will confront. Let's look at the premise again. The premise is a newly empowered magician helps another indigenous. So the moral problem, I'll put the premise. A newly empowered magician helps another indigenous person take power before realizing his evil plans for the position. His evil plans. Kobolds are sworn enemies with gnolls. And a gnoll... Hold on. I'm going to look up what a gnoll is. And so gnolls for you, this hyena-looking thing. Damn. Gnolls are extremely tall. 7 feet to 7'6". I feel like I'm missing out having never played D&D. Like, hopefully there's no, like, my nerd card won't get revoked. Thanks, awesome. I appreciate the honesty. Only a true friend would be that truly honest. I'm Eastern. EST. I'm in DC, in Washington, DC. Nice. A newly empowered magician helps another indigenous person. So the moral problem. Central moral problem. Do we already write that? What responsibility? I think this works. What responsibilities does Jesus have for aiding other indigenous societies throughout the world? I'm all the way in Buffalo, right around the Canadian border. Oh, okay. Nice. My girlfriend went to school at Oneonta. So, I don't know exactly where that is, but I know it's up there. All right, characters is variation, not a theme. You know what I'll do here? Let me just go ahead and fix this formatting now. Jesus Chan, Chaska Mamani, Fernan Rivera, and Abilio Canul. So, and then characters variations on theme. So the theme, when you're blessed with a good heart and great talent, you must become a leader. Jesus Chan. reluctant to help others. Chaska Mamani. Chaska. Jesus is reluctant. So this is the theme. When you're blessed with a good heart and great talent, you must become a leader and fight for others. So Jesus is reluctant to help others, thinks the fight isn't his. Chaska has a bleeding heart and believes she can help all Incan descendants. Buffalo is weird. I started middle school in 5th grade. Oh, that is kind of strange. I was like, I started middle school in 6th grade. And then high school in 9th. Is that what you did too? Chaska's bleeding heart believes she can help all Incan descendants. Ferdinand Rivera wants to control power so he can exact revenge. Abilio wants to be left alone and doesn't think he has to help anyone. Oh man, started high school in 8th. God, I couldn't imagine being in 8th grade and seeing like 12th graders. All right, and then let's delete this. Is reluctantly helping the descendants, and control powers can exact revenge. Once we live alone, doesn't need to help anyone, even Maya. Awesome. Are you working on your book now? I think Zebra's writing right now too. We can all have our documents open, cranking away a little at a time. Nice. Yeah, I always think about that like it's like a Zen thing where it's like cutting a boulder with water. So you just keep running over it and eventually you'll get through it. Values and conflict. Let's see here. We have values already written. Perfect. Chaska. Abilio's values. A lot of this outlining is just going over the same thing over and over and over again, but like seeing it in different comparisons, and so that you get to really kind of create a lot of conflict just from the difference in the personalities. So you get a sense of why these people might butt heads no matter what, like in any situation, right? Like they could be going to 7-Eleven and you kind of have a feeling as to why and how and what might trigger an argument or anything like that. I just remember the main character, best friend, and a kobold slave they saved just murdered an entire empire of bunnies. Oh my gosh. Is that's the last thing you wrote? Nice. Who is a crunchy kind of therapist? So a lot of times I'll try and go through the characters, and I'll try and think of somebody from a movie or show that I like, and then pick and choose those type of people. So like for example, this could be like Hermione. Abilio is Lafayette from True Blood. Fernand Rivera, he Warmonger. No, Killmonger, that's what it is. So if you've seen Black Panther, Killmonger is Michael B. Jordan's character. But so this is kind of like, and again, I'm not saying that he's going to go in and kill people like Killmonger. He's not going to shoot guns and this, that, and the other. But in terms of how his behavior is, how he talks, all that stuff, I think it's pretty helpful sometimes to have a character just to keep like in your head. Valentin Roca. Not into Marvel. Gotcha. There's a couple of my friends aren't into Marvel. I was trying to get one of my buddies to watch Moon Knight, one of the new shows. Valentin Roca, who is a police officer who's just trying to do their job, who cares. I mean, it could even be like Stabler from SVU. Have you seen Law and Order SVU? I feel like that's like a thing. Oh, more into anime. Okay, dude, it's wild you say that, because my friends that don't like the Marvel, or they're just kind of like not into it, like you said, but it's because they watch anime as well. So it's wild that you said that. Stabler, Killmonger, Lafayette, Hermione, and Shang-Chi. Let's do Shang-Chi. All right. Heroes, beliefs, and values. So we already know his values: family, honesty, and heritage. Man, getting used to PC. Getting used to PC has been a bear. I know all the hotkeys from Mac, and I'm like flying around left and right, and then I go to PC and I feel like don't know anything. POV friends from a past life. Amen. Amen. If I had to watch an anime to get started, so the animes that I've watched, I think the only one that I would really count as like an anime is One Punch Man. But like I've seen Avatar and Korra, One Punch Man, obviously. I started watching Demon Slayer. I liked it. I just haven't gotten. I play so many video games that I don't really watch much TV as it is. Moral weakness. Needs to embrace helping other indigenous societies. Moral need. You know what? We're not even going to do the Shang-Chi. We're going to go to T'Challa. The Promised Neverland. All right, let me make a note. The Promised. So I have my Mac next to me. That's what I use for most things. I wrote all my books I used to write in in a coffee shop up until the pandemic hit, and then after the pandemic hit, I wrote one, two, three, four, five. I wrote 6 books since the pandemic hit, and those are on my Mac, and then now I'm trying to transition to writing on my PC. Promise Neverland's my pet. It's about a group of orphans who discover a deadly secret. Dude, that's a great pitch. I'll be honest with you. It's a group of orphans discover a deadly secret. Like, that sounds like some Goonies type thing. Let's see. Moral need. Moral weakness, moral need. What's the difference between moral weakness? Oh, that's what it is. So moral weakness, trouble with confidence, leading people, not even trusting because of my life experience, feels isolated because of new humans to talk about the pressure. Okay. Plus, it also has a manga. Oh, nice. One of my friends, she's big into the Avatar manga right now. So we'll go to like different bookshops to try and find specific ones that she's trying to collect. True. Yeah, One Punch Man was just so funny because he just doesn't care. Like, and I relate to that. I'll be honest with you. Like, it's like he just is so apathetic, and I'm just like, this is awesome. First immoral action. Jesus denies, doesn't agree to help Incan society, help return Incan magic. Even though you're wild, awesome. Oh, wait. Even though he accepts, he hears about let's see. So if there has to be an immoral action, so what would make denying help? Denying help has to be immoral. But how can we make it more punchy? How can we make it have a bigger impact? We can talk about the ecological parts. Even though he hears about Ferdinand wanting to preserve Machu Picchu. Okay. That makes sense, but we'll also have to add in another note in our tentative story events where find out Fernan doesn't really care about preserving Machu Picchu. What do you guys write in? Microsoft Word. So the program I'm using here is Scrivener. So I can switch between. So each of these can pretty much be its own blank. It's like having a shit ton of documents, that I can kind of control and play with. Oh, Google Docs. Nice. Awesome. You ever think about writing an anime or writing manga? I use it. I can write on my school laptop and personal. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Desire Jesus wants to pay back his debt to Fernan. Drive. I use it to do. I know you have to draw manga. I can't draw for my life. Dude, I'm in the same boat. I can't draw at all. What I was gonna say is my buddy. He actually writes or he hosts a comic book competition. So for amateurs that are unpublished amateur. I mean, I guess you could be published too, but it's like for brand new writers. It's a competition, and so you don't there's no drawing because you would hire they help you hire an illustrator if your story gets through. And so it's called Negative Space Comics. If you ever wanted to write a graphic novel, a manga, comic book, I think they're all kind of in that same general sphere, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so he has the competition. Look it up, Negative Space Comics. Let me write it in here. Right, Jesus goes to Lima, goes to Peru. Favorite books for graphic novel, you should Amulet. All right, let me make a note. Dude, because of you, I'm gonna have so many things to read and watch. Drive Jesus goes to Peru and engages in the treasure hunt. Immoral actions. Hero's great moral weakness. Yep, got that. Desire, drive, immoral actions. What can he do early on that's immoral? Could say harms rats and snakes. He's mean. How does let's say this. Damages. Cart or merchants or poor persons stall during chase scene. Criticism from police, from Valentin Roca. Justification, looking for something stolen, which is a lie. I will have 9 books and 8 are out, and the 9th will release on the 26th of October 2021. So awesome, is this a Amulet? You're saying Amulet has 9 books, 8 of them are already out, or is this another graphic novel series that you're referring to? You're saying not. It will have 9 books. Is that Amulet is going to have 9 books? Is that what you're saying, or is this another graphic novel that you're talking about? Oh, okay, nice. I'll look it up. I'll probably grab the first one. So I'm thinking. So the first book has a big. So the first book, Jesus has 2 companions. He has his Shadow Jaguar, and then he has his cousin, and then one of his powers is a Shadow Warrior. And so I've already kind of decided, or I think I'm gonna already have that the Shadow Warrior is kind of like rendered inert because he is not because he's in another area. It's almost like his powers only work in Mexico type of thing. But I don't know if I should keep the Shadow Jaguar in travels with him or does not, because there really isn't any need. There's a couple things. I mean, we could just say he's a cat. I might just do that. So, see, I already have a note. Does Jesus' powers not work outside the Yucatan? Weakened teleportability. Let's say maintained teleportability. Balam, only a house cat. No Shadow Warrior. Maybe something like that. But then that's not really magic. That's kind of like... Yeah, I'm probably going to need to go through this again and add in more magic. Have I ever burnt my cereal? No, I've never burnt my cereal. I don't eat cereal warmed up. I eat cereal with milk. Well, actually, I eat cereal with protein shake. I'm weird. I haven't eaten at a gas station in years, other than like Swedish fish. I'm a Costco man myself. I buy everything at Costco. If I can't buy it in bulk, I don't buy it. Best soda? Oh man, orange Fanta. Hands down, dude. Like no doubt. And best drink though is a mango agua fresca. They're especially there's one place, there's a taco spot near me. It's so good. Jesus experiences dream world, alternate realities. We're gonna need to beef up the magic. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna have to go through and look for areas where I can add in more magic here. Unless of course I want to say that his magic is weakened outside of Mexico, outside of the Yucatan. A D&D DM is Dungeon Master, correct? Dude, maybe I'll look into a career change. We need more magic in here. I mean, or I could just explain it away. He's not used to using his magic. I have to think about this. Yeah, see, exactly. If I turned them into playable campaigns, right? Because I was thinking that, like I said, all of my books, they're an outline. They're already the way they're outlined. I could easily turn them into other things. So that's actually a really good idea. I'd have to look into how it works though, because like I said, I've never played D&D, so I don't really know. I don't know too much about it. I'll be honest with you. I feel like a little bit of a failure on the nerd front. Oh yeah, I love Pokemon, but I only played. I like play it. I beat Pokemon Blue, like a bunch, maybe like 5 times, and then I played. What is not the most recent one, the one before. Not oh my gosh, let me see. Pokemon for Switch. Not Arceus. Pokemon Sword. That's the one I played. Oh, dude, that'd be cool. But yeah, this definitely needs. I'm gonna need some more magic in this story, so I'm gonna take a break from writing, and I'm gonna think about this until I'll give it like 24 hours, and I'll go through it again tomorrow, and see if I can add in some more. I mean, really though, I could definitely make it so that way. It's like not that there's no magic, but his magic is weakened because he's in a different area. Yeah, that might be it. Hands over the page, break her out. Jesus loses power on charged relics. Dead magic zone. Yeah, exactly. Like there's like a dead magic zone, but since he like so Mayan magic is purple, so it's like purple magic, and then Incan magic is gonna be green, and so it's almost like because he's purple, he can't really do that much in green, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. I think that's it for today. I'm good on the writing. I'm going to take 5-10 minute break, and then I'm probably gonna hop on Destiny afterwards. So stick around if you want to hang out. I'm definitely down to talk, chat. We can talk about literally anything. I don't mind. But I do need my eyes hurting a little bit. I need to get some water, and then I'll come back and fire up Destiny. So awesome. It's great meeting you, buddy. Zebra, if you're still here, I'll be back. Or if not, I'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, give me a few minutes and I'll hop on, and I'm just gonna kind of dick around with some video games.